Welcome, tankers! In just a few hours now, the early access phase of Armored Warfare's development, or really it's an open beta test, opens up to the public, and it'll be the very first chance you get to play Armored Warfare. And luckily, the non-disclosure agreement has finally dropped, and I can finally show you all the different tanks that you'll get to play. And in this video, we are going to be looking at the M60 Patton, which is a Tier 3 main battle tank from Marat Shishkin. The main battle tanks, at least in the alpha tests, were extremely dominant, or way overpowered. They're all really fast, they have ridiculous armor, and they have great guns that do a ton of damage. So that is just a recipe for disaster, and they're going to have to fix that and nerf them. And if you look at that orange logo above me, that means I've been spotted. It's basically 6th sense. So I'm going to hide behind a bunker here. And now, the main battle tanks are pretty much immune to a lot of the armored fighting vehicle fire they faced, at least in the lower tiers. In a machine gun, the AFVs can't really penetrate any of the main battle tanks, especially from the front, and especially with armor-piercing rounds, so they'll have to switch to high explosive to do any damage. And high explosive reliably does damage, but it does extremely low damage. And for instance, the machine guns tend to do around 1 damage per hit for the lower tiers. And compared to my gun, which does hundreds of damage, you can imagine what that fight's going to be like. So I'll just fast forward here until something interesting happens. And if you notice, there was a different orange logo on the screen there. That was an incoming missile signal. So you get a warning when you're spotted, and you also get a warning when someone's looking at you with a guided missile. And the guided missiles, they can actually fire and aim the missile while it's in midair, in mid-flight, and so they can do some really unusual things with the guided missiles, like curve them around buildings and shoot tanks that aren't actually exposed to you. And I wonder what happened to my shot there. And now this guy, some weird things were happening in the alpha test, like the physics wasn't completed yet, so occasionally someone would get behind a fence or something, and you just couldn't shoot through it. Like this guy. I just can't, for the life of me, shoot him here. So I'll just fast forward again until something interesting happens. And I'm pretty much out in the open there, because that guy can't damage me, and there is no one else there that could. So now, I guess it's time to push forward, and our team's in a bit of trouble. So we're going to carefully come around here. We know the guy's still over there. But of course he's not really much of a threat to us. If he comes out into the open so he can shoot us, we can annihilate him.
Target hit!
And we get a good hit there. And now I'm thinking, maybe go over and kill this guy. He was annoying me sitting behind his invisible force field over there. So, and we find a couple enemy tanks here, but luckily he's behind a hill, so we can focus our attention on this guy. And we get a good hit.
Penetrated. Shit, track damage.
And I think I'm just gonna go try and ram him.
Took a hit.
And we get the kill. So now it's 4 on 4. And we get another kill there. And don't know where that shot went, but at least our friend got him. And now we have a 2-tank lead. And in this map, it seems like pretty much everyone was either going south or north, and the entire, like, 3/4 of the middle of the map was typically empty, except for a little ridge around maybe D4. So it made for really good arty hunting, because as if you were in a fast light tank, you could usually just scoot right across the center of the map without really worrying about anyone spotting you or shooting you, because they were all camping up in the corners or behind buildings down in the bottom right. And pretty much all the tanks in Armored Warfare are considerably faster than World of Tanks. And we're going uphill here, and we're going, what, 34, 35, 36 kilometers an hour, and in the heaviest armored tanks in World of Tanks, you can never get going that fast. So it's nice, the games tend to go a lot quicker than they do in World of Tanks. And now it's 2-on-1, and we are closing in on the final guy, although he has more hit points than us. But luckily, we're coming at him from both sides. So it's going to be an exciting finish. Whoever shots penetrate will probably win. And he's a smart player. Actually, everyone in the alpha test, it was ridiculous. Almost everyone was a purple player from World of Tanks. There were very few people that weren't extremely good. And I discover here that some of these obstacles aren't passable. Unfortunately, that was about the worst thing that could have happened. We get a shot, and it luckily takes a lot of his health, and we win the battle thanks to our friend getting the kill shot. And that was the M60 Patton.